Hey you guys, Kimichi Turo here, and today I'm here to review, one second, Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Alright, now since I got that title out of the way, let's talk about it. Let's just get one thing out of the way, and that's pretty much the story. And it's a very simple story, guys. Basically, this story is about Harley Quinn pretty much going through her little breakup with Mr. J, and somehow she gets mixed with protecting this little kid from Hugh McGregor's character Black Mask, because that little girl has this little diamond. So it's Harley Quinn's job and a handful of other women to protect her from Black Mask. Again, very simple story. When going into this film, I didn't know what to think. When I first saw the first few trailers, they look interesting, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I was not excited for this film. I wasn't like, oh my god, I have to pre-order tickets, I have to see this film. Not really, and especially because even though I thought Suicide Squad was okay, I had a fun time with it. It's not great. I didn't know what to think of just a standalone Harley Quinn movie, and yes, it is a Harley Quinn movie. I'll get to that in a second. But overall, I was actually surprised how much fun I had with this film. I do have issues, but again, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's just start with Margot Robbie. She is, again, fantastic as Harley Quinn. She really does steal the show. I be honest, I don't see anyone else playing Harley Quinn, live action. She's just great. So is the rest of the cast. Hugh McGregor is, you can tell he's just having a grand old time. Excuse me. Playing Black Mask. He's just having so much fun with the role. As for the Birds of Prey, the other girls, they're great too. Everyone's really good. Also, the guy who played Victor Zsasz, he does minimal talk, but he was pretty good as well. And oh, the one thing I want to mention is, I guess there's some sort of a relationship between Black Mask and Victor Zsasz, if I'm correct. They look like they have a thing, but they don't really flat out say it. But overall, the whole cast is great. The action was really fun. It was actually really well shot and really well choreographed. And this film is actually really vibrant and stuff. And probably my favorite part of the fights was probably towards the end of the film. You see in the trailer, she hops on the car. It was actually pretty hilarious what she does. Again, really great set pieces and everything. But yeah, I had a pretty good time throughout this whole film. There's a little bit of humor in this film. I didn't really find it all that funny. Me personally, but again, film comedy is subjective, so you may find it a lot funnier than I did. And there's this ongoing joke with the egg sandwich here and there. Again, I'm giggling now, but when I was watching, I wasn't really laughing that much. Except again, towards the end, I started laughing when the comedy bits start happening in the middle of the action. That's where I had most of my humor from. And how creative they were, especially because Margot Robbie towards the end of the film is just wearing roller skates. The only thing is that you don't see him put on roller skates. And again, I just got back from watching it. I don't remember her putting on roller skates at some point. They don't show it. I think right now it's best to move on to what my negatives are. This film is so close to being really good, but the problem is it's just a very simple, generic story that I've seen many times. I've seen this stuff even in my kids, in my cartoons when I was growing up. Little kid gets mixed up with taking a diamond from this one guy, and don't get me wrong. In the film, they express how crazy Black Mask is. He whines over the littlest things. Again, he's the biggest little brat, and Victor Zsasz, Black Mask henchman. He's just taking care of almost like a parent. But he's that shitty parent that always gives their kid whatever they want. But it's just, again, I've seen this story so many times, and again, the comedy just doesn't hit for me as much. And I don't know. And again, I just let you know, I have not read any of the comic books. The only Harley Quinn thing I've noticed from the original animated series of Batman. And I'm not really familiar with Birds of Prey. And I know some of you were upset about, saying Birds of Prey, and in all actuality, it's just a Harley Quinn movie, and it is. And another thing I didn't really like about this film is that like it does a lot of flashback cuts. Don't get me wrong, like I've seen, you know, many films have done this where like almost like Deadpool, like they start at the beginning of the film, like where they at, and then they're like, oh, you're probably wondering how I got here, so let's just take it back. But it does it like about like three times, maybe 4 times. And it got a little tiresome. But again, they do have to introduce the other girls in this film, and again, they are great. But they don't get much character besides like their little background. Like I do like their interactions, but another issue that I have is you don't get that interaction with all of them towards the end of the film. Like probably like the final like I think 15 minutes of the film. Majority of the time you're with Harley Quinn and you know, talking to the girl, which by the way I love both of them interacting with each other. It was really cool. And I know and again we're still talking about negatives here. People may have issues with how they're portraying Harley Quinn in this film, just because again she's in the comics she is psychotic, you know, and she hurts people in this film. But they almost make it like the excuse of like, oh yeah, she's cool is because Black Mask is worse, and yeah, Black Mask is an a-hole in this film, and I just thought that was a little weird going into it, but other than that, I had a really good time. It's just like very minor nitpicks here and there. It's just a very generic story. Like I don't think it's a terrible film at all. I don't think it's like a great film, but it's good. It is good. Yeah. I forgot to also mention there is also one scene where towards the end of the film they have this big fight, you know, with, you know, Black Mask's men, and he brings like pretty much a whole army. You know, they kick. They're in this like little carnival type of room, and basically they kick everyone's ass. But then when they come out again, they have a whole army. They come out just like all willy nilly, and one of them actually gets attacked. They get attacked really easily. And, like, did they forget that there was a whole army? I don't know. I just thought that was stupid. I just thought I mentioned it, and I just forgot to put it in the video. And one more thing I want to add to this is about the whole title. Here's the thing, and this is not a spoiler at all. Basically, this film kind of just feels like a big like this is a Harley Quinn movie, but it is a big setup for the Birds of Prey. If that's almost, because I know some people are complaining, because again I don't know anything about the Birds of Prey. I know they were just full of heroes, and then Harley Quinn got into the mix of in the comics. But if there's any consolation for you comic book fans, again, not spoiler, it does feel like a big set. It does feel like a setup for the Birds of Prey, rather than, you know, them being integrated, you know, seamlessly in the story. Again, this is Harley Quinn's movie. Literally, like it says, Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous, blah blah blah. Harley Quinn just seems like she's intruding and overshadowing the Birds of Prey. So hopefully we get to see Birds of Prey standalone film. I would love to see this cast, you know, meet up again, even if Harley Quinn is in there a couple times, or if she's in with the team again. I really like their interactions. But overall, guys, I had a really fun time with this film. Again, I'm not saying, again, it's not a bad movie at all, but I don't think it's great or anything. It's just a really fun time at the movies, and that is why I'm giving Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn a 3.5 out of 5. Again, fun. It's a fun time for the movies. Oh, and another thing I want to add. Yeah, I don't know about the R rating for this film. There is some gory parts, but I don't think it's as bad as I don't know if it's deserving of a hard R. I think it's just because of the cussing and some sexual jokes, and there's some like, you know, leg crushing and some blood splats, but a lot of PG-13 movies have gone away with a lot worse stuff. You know what I mean? So I thought it was weird making PG-13 just for the cussing and some of the drugs and the sexual jokes, but when there is even that much, the only like probably the most goriest scene is that like Victor Zsasz does rip off people's faces, but like you just see it from right here from the chin. They don't even like show you detail, like you see all my fingers covered, just like that with the knife. They cut away and you just see one face flapping around. After that, they don't even show it, and it doesn't really come up again. That's pretty much another negative. But again, a 3.5 out of 5. I do kind of recommend you guys go see if you are a fan of Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I do think you'll have a great time. If you have like a 13, 14-year-old, it'll be still a good time to bring him in. Again, there's just some parts like that, but otherwise I don't think it goes too far, and they could have gone away with a PG-13 to be honest with you. But otherwise, guys, let me know in the comments below. Have you seen Birds of Prey? Do you like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn? Were you even looking forward to this movie? Let me know.